January 22, 2023.
I saw this at my local supermarket. I'm not talking about me being in awe because there were snacks. Believe it or not, even here in Chile, Latin America, we also have lots of snacks. I'm talking about the little plastic strip that's on top of the snack. You see, the last time I saw one of these was back in like 2007. These little thingies worked basically as advertisements for contests where you had to send a unique code that was inside each snack bag via email or even real email. Imagine that in 2024. And if you were lucky enough to become one of the winners, you could get different prizes. And what could you win, you ask? Well, awesome stuff like these keychains, this Simpson themed fart bag, or even fancy things like iPods or an amazing CRT TV. In fact, when I was like 8 years old, I bought a small bottle of pap, which is a Chilean papaya flavored soda, and I ended up winning my first and only skateboard because of it. But why is any of this important anyways, right? Well, when I saw that those contests were back, I felt really happy and nostalgic. But I thought it would be nothing more than just a simple joyride through memory lane. That was until I got back home, sat in front of my computer, and saw this. Nu metal is back. Y2K fashion is back. Heck, even the old internet is making its way back to the early 20s. That's actually so awesome. That's what I thought. But people are using smartphones and social media apps now. There's no way they will even give that up in order to metaphorically go back to experience how life was in the late 90s or early 2000s. Unless... a clear pattern was forming right in front of me, and it got me so excited that I wanted to make an entire video about it. So, my spooky friends, come with me and let's go back in time to the year 2000, back when we still had hope. And keep watching to know why hope is not lost. To understand why Y2K is back, and unlike some other trends, it has remained popular throughout these last few years. Yes, I'm looking at you, Vaporwave. We need to know why it was so popular in the first place. The chrome abstract decor, the aquamorphing effect, the perfect balance between progress, humanity, technology, and nature. The early 2000s wrote a new chapter in human history, altering our fate forever in ways we had never before imagined. The rise of the internet, this new and limitless space we were just starting to explore, felt alien and scary, but also very exciting. Alongside with the invention of cheaper and smaller cell phone devices, humanity had never been disconnected nor this collectively focused on one big new thing ever before. The information superhighway, as they called it, was often compared to actual real space. To everyone at the time, the internet seemed to be a new universe to conquer, one that brought with it an endless amount of little planets we called websites. Places where we could fully immerse ourselves, exploring for endless hours, jumping from rabbit hole to rabbit hole. Speaking of which, remember when websites were super customizable? Personal blogs were much common back then. There used to be a lot of pages where people spoke about themselves, their hyperfixations and interests, where they put their favorite music at the top of the page and their emails at the bottom in case you wanted to contact them through AOL or MSN to have a conversation about something you both had in common. In fact, I used to have my own website back in 2007 or 2008 where I shared information about my favorite mobile Java games. Remember those? And also information about my Quake 3 Arena clan. Thanks to my website and other internet forums, I made the first group of friends I ever had in my life. People who were from other regions of my country or even from other parts of the world. People whom otherwise I would have never been able to talk to. Today, being connected with a global community, it's something we take for granted, but little 10-year-old me was mind-blown every time I spoke to someone online. And little did I know that years later, I will also meet the love of my life on an old MMORPG that I used to play as a child called Sherwood Dungeon. Back in the 2000s, the world felt like there was a unique and indelible place for everyone and everything. Big communities for any interest you could have existed both online and offline. We had achieved a perfect duality between the self-expression of individualism and the serene sense of belonging of the collectivism that being connected with a global community of like-minded people brought us. Even if you wanted to be alone, but in the company of others, you could go to a cyber cafe and browse the net alongside of a bunch of other people who were doing the same thing as you. I think the last time I visited one of those was back in like the 2010s. Me and a classmate went to one of the local cyber cafes to watch memes after school. We were broke high schoolers, so we could only afford a few minutes at the cafe. But we still sat in there, bought some chips and sodas, and browsed the web for the funniest meme compilation we could find. My classmate was laughing so hard that an older gent gave us a dirty look from the other side of the room. And even though I felt very embarrassed at the time, I remember that day so clear and dearly now. Another aspect why the 2000s felt like such an amazing time, it's because when we spoke of the future, it looked nothing like today's present at all. How we imagine the future will be like. From the existential horrors of the Matrix to the evergreen optimism of technological commercials, if there was a word that could describe our vision of the future in that era, that word will be exciting. Not only the economical condition of the global society was going up and up, but also the rise of a totalitarian positive attitude towards the future. Refreshing architectural choices in buildings, stores and homes. Bold and extravagant designs for every single piece of technology under the sun. Fashion styles that allowed everyone to fully be themselves and belong to a community of like-minded people at the same time. A synergy of all the right elements fused together to create an era in which we had a beautiful, hopeful present full of uniqueness and diversity that not only felt incredible to be a part of, but that was also a prequel of a future that will bring world peace, embrace ecology harder than ever before, and launch humanity into the first step towards an unimaginable bright future. Well, those innocent hopes and simpler days are gone now. From politics to art, from the way we communicate and interact with each other, from subcultures now almost being totally divided into aesthetics, to the economy itself, everything has changed. Today's society feels like a liminal, hopeless, bleak amalgamation of brutalist skyscrapers, complete human division and cyberpunk-like late-stage capitalism. We are currently in the era of the poorly designed, mass-produced, quickly forgotten, and AI-generated crap these days.
Please take me back. I want to go back to a time where life was much simpler.
Just by what we have talked about until now, we can say that back then we used to have a new, exciting and limitless space to explore, an instant way to communicate with anyone and everyone around the world for the first time in history, highly customizable devices, fashion trends, subcultures, and websites that we could use to express our uniqueness and interests with the entire world. An overwhelming sense of excitement for the overly optimistic present and hopes for an even better future. It's no wonder that so many people, including myself, whom many of which weren't even alive yet in the late 2000s, are so enamored with the nostalgia of the Y2K era. Now, let's compare that with our current times once again. So, is it even that hard to understand why a lot of people wish they could go back in time and live in a world where they could enjoy today and dream of a better tomorrow? I have seen people ditching their smartphones and using dumb phones instead. People getting their hands on physical media instead of streaming services. Journaling instead of venting on social media. And to be honest, I totally understand why. Maybe if we collectively start having a healthier relationship with our present by taking small but important steps like those ones previously mentioned, we could regain some of the hope and happiness we felt back then. And look, I know technology will never stop evolving. And when it's used for the improvement of the quality of life of people, that's obviously an amazing thing. Like an AI that can discover breast cancer 5 years before it begins, robots that allow disabled people to work in Japan, an AI that creates plant-based alternatives to animal products. That's incredible. But right now, most AI is largely being used to create the most amoral, useless, soulless, cursed, and borderline illegal stuff. Either that or it's trying to trick you into adding glue to your pizza, killing your pets, and some other literally incredible nonsense. I think the vast majority of us don't expect progress in technology to be stopped so we can go back to living in caves or something like that. I personally would like that technology to make the tedious, dangerous, and difficult things of life easier. Like a robot that can automatically call an ambulance if you have an emergency and live alone. Or a robot that will clean your laundry and take the trash out while calculating your taxes and grabbing your groceries. Not a freaking money-driven plagiarism project, meaningless machine that tries its hardest to render real art obsolete or tries to manipulate you into leaving everyone you love behind. But how? How could humans and technology coexist in a world where the future again can seem bright and exciting? Well, allow me to introduce you to what I believe to be the spiritual successor of the best things from the Y2K and frutiger era phenomenons. Something so pretty and utopic that it might even be hard to imagine, but if it someday becomes our reality, then I think everyone will be able to live in a much happier place. And the thing I'm talking about, it's called Solarpunk. A possible future. You wake up, you see the news. Humanity wins, world peace achieved, and world hunger eradicated. You look through the window of your home and see the love child of nature and progress decorating the horizon. All your technological devices are there to improve your life and to make all the tedious and boring tasks obsolete, so you can focus on what's truly important, working on making your dreams a reality and spending quality time with your loved ones. You go out, only to be greeted by genuine smiles and heartwarming kindness from everyone you interact with. At night, you go to sleep on your comfortable bed, knowing that tomorrow you will get to spend another incredible day in a world that healed from its environmental and social-political issues a long time ago. And you'll have the sweetest of dreams about how amazing your life will be until its very end. Solarpunk is not only an incredible window to a better tomorrow, but also a collective movement of hope. I like to believe it's possible. It shows us how the world could look like if we overcame all our political, social, economical, and climate problems with the use of ethical technologies that were created with the sole purpose to take care of all humans. And I think that if we really focus and put just a tiny bit of collective effort, we might have a chance of bringing back the hope that we once had. The hope of a brighter future. The early 2000s were not a perfect era. There was a lot of normalized fatphobia, misogyny, and other types of discrimination on TV and on the most popular media at the time. Even I experienced the most horrible time of my life back in 2006, to be honest. But for this video I spent a lot of time watching old commercials, compilations, and also a lot of old TV shows from my country, Chile. and I felt very emotional the whole time. I guess it's normal for people to be nostalgic about the past. It happens to every generation. But for me, this was something bigger than nostalgia. This was a time where the entire world felt different, when each season was distinct and gentle, when I could spend months having fun on my computer and PlayStation every single day without having to worry about anything else, when my mom will buy me a small bag of snacks and stationery items on the way back home from school, when I will get home and I will run to my granny's room to watch telenovelas, cartoons, and anime with her, when I thought that ahead of me was nothing but joy and fulfillment. Everything is different now, but that doesn't mean happiness is forever lost. I have managed to work as an illustrator for the last 4 years. I have been in a relationship with the love of my life for the last 7. I have made a few of my dreams a reality, and I have matured in ways I never believed possible. So, yes, maybe the world sucks, maybe the present sucks, and for some, past times will always be remembered as the highlights of life. But what is the world but you and me? What is the present but the actions we are taking right now? We still have a chance to make a change for the better. We are getting that chance at this very moment. If we all just tried our best to be as kind and authentic as we can be, with some luck on our side, we might look back at today's reality with the same pink-colored glasses we are using now to look back at the early 2000s. My spooky friends, thank you so much for sharing your precious time with me today on my first official YouTube video / mini video essay. Believe it or not, I've been writing the script for this thing for the past 3 months or so. I have always felt a little too shy to properly create a YouTube channel, and even though I'm still not totally sure in which direction I want to take this yet, I want to push myself to overcome my shyness and to start this channel anyways. Also, I apologize if I sound a little weird. English is my second language and I'm also sick right now, so I had to take multiple takes for each sentence because I couldn't keep myself from coughing. But I've been wanting to create this video for the longest time, so I couldn't wait any longer. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who has ever supported me on Patreon. If you liked the video, please bite the crap out of the like and subscribe buttons. And also, please follow me on my socials. You can find them all on my website, lordbillmort.com. My spooky friends, I am Lord Billmort, but you can call me Bill. And I wish you all sweet dreams. Good night.
Hey, it's Yaya from Face Yourself, and you're watching Lord Billmort.
I'm waiting for you inside the dream that is the real world.